Students, how are you all? I am Dr. Femila, Assistant Professor and Head, Department of Health, Bishop Weber College, Trichy. Today we are going to know about the unipolar world power. See, the unipolar world is when the majority of the world is dominated by a single state or a single nation. A majority by his military and economic power and social and cultural influence. Before we go into the topic, we should know the polarity. What does it mean, the polarity? It suggests that everything has its opposite. Light, darkness, hot, cold, love and hate, success and failure. These opposing forces are not separate entities but interconnected aspects of the same reality. See, the polarity can be distinguished into different types. They are unipolarity, bipolarity and multipolarity. What does it mean, the unipolarity? The unipolarity, a unipolar world is when the majority of the world is dominated by its military, by its economic power and social and cultural influence. According to the Kala-Nolaf, do you know who is Kala-Nolaf? Kala-Nolaf is a professor of political science at the University of Toronto and non-residential senior fellow with the Atlantic Council. She has recommended that there are 3 reasons for the unipolar power. They are the dollar's position as the world primary reserve currency and American commercial strength and American military preponderance. See, to put it simply, the nation with the most power and influence in the economy, in social, in cultural and in military phrases becomes a superpower. And this leads to unipolar world. The world became unipolar in 1991 after the disintegration of the USSR. America holds superiority and dominance in commercial and military power, and the US dollar is considered to be the world's dominant reserve currency. Politics is all about power and influence. We know it well. The nation with the most power, economic, social, cultural and military influence become a superpower. Unipolar world, in international politics and systems, the unipolar world order is the distribution of powers in which only one state, America only, dominates the global economy, social and cultural and military influence. Polarity, already I taught you, polarity is the distribution of power and influence over a state, region or globally. It is described as the nature of the international system at any given period. See, the unipolar, when it started, after the end of the Cold War between the USA and the Soviet Union collapsed and the USA emerged as a single powerful nation globally. Scholars of international relations believe that this was the beginning of the America's emerging unipolar world order. After the Cold War, America holds superiority and dominance in commercial and military power, as you know it very well. And the US dollar is considered to be the world's dominant reserve currency. Politics all about power and influence. See, what does it mean, bipolar world? A bipolar world can be defined as an international political system in which the majority of the global economy, culture, politics and military is influenced by two superpower states like this, USA and USSR. See, the classic examples of the bipolar world is the Cold War period. The period was 1947 to 1991. After the 1991, USA became the superpower and it's called as the unipolar power. See, the Soviet Union and USA emerged as the superpowers, trying to dominate each other for decades. However, the Sino-Soviet split led to the emergence of China as a possible third superpower. See, in the bipolarity system, it is possible that the power and influence of international relation can be extended to a much larger domain, such as alliances or organizations coming together to exert dominance and power on the globe. For example, in the case of both world wars, First and Second World War, the power was divided into two phases, the Axis power and the allies of the world in the World War II, which was fought from 1939 to 1945, formed a military alliance and the Axis power was defeated. And the First World War, also known as the Great War, it was fought from 1914 to 1918. The power was divided between the Central Powers and the Allied Powers. So, multipolar world. What does it mean, the multipolar world? Multipolarity can be defined as the distribution of the power in which more than two nations have almost equal amounts of power and influences on the global economy, society, culture and military. The non-polarity, see, like this. Okay, superpowers, but there is no central power dominating any other superpower. There is no leader. All are equal here. That is the multipolar world. The non-polarity world is the power domain where there are numerous superpowers, but there is no central power. Like this, there is no central power, there is no leader, there is no gundas like this, natama like this. Any other superpower. This power can be formed in many places and regions. This international system dilutes the meaning of the term polarity and is an example of the non-polar world that is not widely found or discussed. See, to put it simply, the nation with the most power and influence in the economy, social, it may be in cultural and military phrases, becomes a control or superpower. And this leads to the unipolar world. This international political system in which the majority of the global economy, culture, politics and military are influenced by two superpower states is called the bipolar world. If the state is the only one, that is unipolar. If the state is the power is divided into two, that is bipolar. The most classic example of the bipolar world is Cold War period, 1947 between 1991. The Soviet Union and the US emerged as superpowers trying to dominate each other for decades. The power domain with numerous superpowers but no central power dominating any other superpower is termed non-polarity. There is no example of this kind of polarity. So, when the power is equally distributed among two or more and no conflict of interest exists, it's called multipolarity. So, from this teaching, from this video, you can understand what is unipolar, what is multipolar and what is bipolar polarity in the world, bipolarity power in the world. Okay, thank you. Thank you.